Hello everyone and welcome to Race 6 of the P2 League, coming from Monza in Italy. This classic circuit has held more Grand Prix than any other, having been part of the calendar since year one. A warm day in Italy makes for the ultimate driving conditions. Let's take a closer look at the track. This 3.6 mile circuit featuring 2 DRS zones with 11 corners, including the infamous Lesmos, the Ascari chicane and the Parabolica. We are in for a real treat. Let's get down to trackside as we're ready for qualifying. Here we go. And the camera type button is not working. As we approach the heavy braking turn 1 in the first chicane, straight into turn 2. Heavy on the throttle. Long winding turn 3. Getting as much pace out of the car as possible. Again, hard braking into turn 4 as we hit chicane number 2. Into turns 4 and 5. Back on the power. Dash down to turn 6, which is the first Lesmo. Again, dash again. Little bit of braking into turn 7, Lesmo 2. Then hard on the accelerator, onto the DRS straight. Slight kink down the straight, but don't release the throttle. Hard braking into Ascari, which is turns 8, 9, 10, full power. Down the penultimate straight. Braking it around the 50-meter board, around the Parabolica of turn 11. Getting traction down as early as you can to get as much speed as you can into the long home straight. And over the line. There's a DRS straight literally 10 meters after the start-finish line, so you need to be ready for that straight away at the start of each lap. As he's the first guy out on track, let's see what his lap time is going to be. Play Funk on his outlet, letting him pass there. We're looking for potentially 2-stop strategies. The hards aren't a particularly solid tyre around here, so I'm expecting lots of guys to go soft, medium, medium. Potentially, if people want to push it, they can go soft, soft, medium, or may even try start on mediums and do a double soft at the end. For some of the back runners who don't qualify in the top 10. A lot of time will be won and lost round Ascari. Getting that line right is the most important part of the track, because of how long the straight that comes out of it is. In this session we should be looking for somewhere around a high 119 as the kind of fastest lap, with a 120.399. Picks roughly settles in. Mark, he's about to come over the finish line with a 121.2. I think it's the SOS brothers is the one we're going to go with. Regularly been setting fast times in the previous races. Pole on a couple of them. Fantastic early race, scrapping the last race in Canada between him and Wondering Me. So here we go, around Ascari. Manages to keep just enough wheels off the curb to not redline the lap. As we approach the Parabolica, there are some outlappers out in front of him. SOS was with a 120.332, takes the provisional pole. Looking now down at the track. Playfunk's about to finish out his lap. With a 121.5. As we approach the Lesmos, going up to Lesmo 2. Down to the DRS straight. Doug Vickers is at 124.1 in the Red Bull. As he comes around the parabolica, let's see where he finishes out the lap. 118, 119, 120, 21, 121.0. Puts him up at a P3 provisionally. Right, let's take a look at King Psycho Panda now, who's out on a fast lap. Coming up to the end of his. Nice line down there. 120 and 20, 120.9. Puts himself up to P3. Lettel out on a fast lap on the mediums right now. So let's follow along with him. Adidas, it's a 122.2. When it's up to P7. Right, here we go. Hits the Ascari. Not certain if he's going to be able to qualify very well on the mediums. A 53 at the end of Sector 2. Not certain this is going to be a particularly quick time. But it's interesting to see how the mediums come out, as both the Renaults seem to be looking like they're going to do mediums runs. Everyone else seems to have decided the softs are the way forward. 121.2 puts himself up to P6. Although I will expect during this session the times to come tumbling down. We have got halfway through this qualifying session right now. 9 drivers have set a time, 7 haven't. Not certain what's happened to Wondering Me. Mark Nasty out on a flyer. Coming around turn 3. We also have the SOS brothers who's out on a flyer too. Just started his fast lap. So we'll dip straight over to him straight after this. .5 of a second up at the end of Sector 2 on his previous fastest. Provisionally putting himself up onto the second row of the grid. If he can complete this lap, maintaining the same pace. The Racing Point's looking to get really close into the Constructors' Championship. Currently led by the Renaults, with the Williams is just behind. Here we go. 120. 120.5 puts himself onto P3. Jern, who's out on a fast lap, coming up to the end of Ascari. Again, he's the other guy trying out the mediums. So we're really looking to see, is he able to make a faster lap than Lettel on a 121.2. On a 120.9 puts himself on a P5. Cheeky chappy who's coming up to the end of his first flying lap. He's literally coming to the parabolica now. I would expect by the end of this session somebody to break into the 119s. But at the moment it's not looking like anyone's really timping it. 120.59 puts himself up to P4. Clay's just finishing his lap now. How fast has he managed to do it? He was nearly a second up at the end of Sector 2. With a 120.3 takes provisional pole. The winner in Singapore. Looking to get his second win on the grid. Jay Wizzy now. Who's out on a fast lap. SOS Brothers hits a 119.7. Sets the fastest lap of the race so far. We're going to follow along with Jay as he hits the end of Sector 2. Coming up to the Ascaris. What time can he make here? Going down the line, Jordan's also out on a flyer right now. 119.9 puts himself on to P2. So let's follow along with Serb as he hits turn 1 and 2 at the chicane. That Ferrari sounds very funny on this game, I have to say. Let's go, boy. King Psycho Panda and Marinarak currently also out on their hot laps. Along with Adidas. Serb sets his fastest sector 2. Right, let's see how he steps in. It's his first race in the league, so let's see how it goes. On 20.4, puts himself up to P5. So we'll drop down to Adidas, who looks to me to be the next car out on the track on a hot lap. In fact, currently the only driver, I think, on a hot lap. Onto the penultimate straight, heading up towards the Parabolica. A 120.1 puts himself up to P3. Mark Nasty's now out on a hot lap. Let's go with him. I'm going to follow on from his driver position. Mark Nasty now. Hard braking into turn 1. Keep that drift round. Smooth. Out of turn 2. Hard on the throttle. Getting as much speed as you can around the turn 3. Hard braking into chicane number 2. And full throttle. Mild braking. On the throttle. Small little brake. In deep. Out wide. Over the DRS line. As much pace as you can physically get down this straight. There's a lot of time can be won and lost at the end of sector 2. He's improved on his time so far. Around Ascari. A little bit ragged there, but I don't think he'll have lost much time. Got a lot of speed coming out of it. Heading down to the final turn 11 at the Parabolica. Keeping it smooth. Here we go. With a 120.1 puts himself up into P4. Oh, sorry, P5. Cheeky chappy pops himself up into P2 with a 119.6. Right, let's have a look at the... Let's break down the order. Jay Wizzy on pole with a 119.5. Cheeky Chappy in second, breaking up the Mercedeses with SOS Brothers third. King Psycho Panda fourth. Mark Nasty fifth. Clay Funk sixth. Adidas seventh. Pix Ruffy eighth. Serb ninth. Jordan Hassel 10th. Jern 11th. Marinat 12th. Lettel 13th. Doug 14th. Wondering Me failing to set a time in 15th, and the Imperial not doing any laps in 16th. This should be interesting. Wondering Me is currently the championship leader, and his nearest two rivals are Jern and Clayfunk. Clayfunk sits in 6th, and Jern sits in 11th, although Jern will be on a different strategy, I will assume, being able to choose his tyres. It's race day here in Monza, and what a qualifying session we had, which has left the most interesting grid we've probably had so far this season, with Wondering Me, the championship leader, sitting on the back row of the grid having failed to set a time, with Jay Wizzy sitting on pole, and a fastest qualifying of the season for King Psycho Panda. This could be anybody's for the taking. A high-speed circuit like Monza is one of those where anything can happen. Let's get down to the grid as we get ready for the formation lap. Right, here we go on the formation lap. We'll just have a quick rundown of the order with Jay Wizzy in first, Cheeky Chappy second, SOS Brothers third, King Psycho Panda fourth, Mark Nasty 5th, Clay Funk 6th, Adidas 7th, Pix Ruffy 8th, Serb 9th, Jordan Hassel 10th, Jern 11th, Marinarak 12th, Lettel 13th, Doug 14th, Wondering Me 15th, and the Imperial in 16th, holding up the back of the grid. The weather looks like it's fantastic out there in Italy today. A little bit of light cloud around, but that could always change. As you see, everybody now on the penultimate straight getting ready to get back onto the grid. Seemingly no dramas on the pit, so that's a good start. On the formation lap, sorry. And here we go, 27 laps of Monza. One of the 2 fastest circuits on the entire calendar. Getting ready for the start of race 6 in the P2 League inaugural season. Here we go. Let's get ready. And we're off. Looking down the order, SOS Brothers seems to have jumped Cheeky Chappie on the start. Cheeky Chappie seems to have a horrible start. He's all the way down in P5. King Psycho Panda up to P3. Who's also jumped Mark Nasty, who looked like initially he had the run on him. Adidas is up into 6th, who's just dropped down to 7th now. Cheeky's reclaimed that place from King Psycho Panda. Mark Nasty up in P3. Excellent start. A lot of shirking in that early section. As we follow along with the 2 lead Mercedes here, as SOS Brothers is tracking down on Jay Wizzy. Wondering Me already up into P13. Up to P12 now. Jern moves himself up into P10 too. Let's drop down and take a look at Wondering Me. Wondering Me now already up into P11. Started on the mediums. Different strategy to everybody else. Mark Nasty's DNF'd at the end of the Ascari. After such a fantastic start, he will be disappointed with that. Safety car is out. Move up to the front runners a second. Follow along with these 2 Mercedes sitting there in 1 and 2. This could really bring them right back into the championship if they manage to hold this position. Currently sitting down in 4th in the Constructors' Championship, but they're not too far away from the front runners. I think only 20 or 30 points involved in the difference. Looks like absolutely nobody has decided to pit, which is probably quite a smart move, really. You wouldn't be gaining a lot pitting this early due to the strategy involved to keep the tyres balanced over the 27 laps. But you never know, someone's just going to take an opportunity. The ideal situation is if you're on softs is to go long, as you saw at the bottom of the screen there. If you're on mediums, you kind of have multiple options on how you can do it, but the one stop is not impossible. But the good thing, I suppose, for a lot of these drivers on softs is sitting there behind the safety car is a lot less wearing on the tyres. That should allow them more time to hold up. Right. That will have helped them out a lot. Adidas moves up into P6 in front of King Psycho Panda. Jern is right on the back of Jordan Hassel too. And Wondering Me has just overtaken Jern. I wonder what happened there. Now Wondering Me is just overtaken King Psycho Panda. We're going to go with Wondering Me for a while because this seems to be where all the action is, right down here at the bottom. Championship leader Wondering Me. Oh, Jordan's run really wide there. Drops himself down to P13. Wondering Me now with the DRS. Chasing down King Psycho Panda. But Wondering Me is already ahead of Jern, which I'm sure Jern won't be too happy with. I think he got quite unlucky there. Panda picking up a 3-second warning there for corner cutting. And Wondering Me pulls out in front of Panda as they go side by side around the Parabolica. Who's going to have the traction coming around the corner? Wondering Me does. And Jern squeezes through too. But DRS will come back into this now. As Wondering Me doesn't have it, Jern takes him on the outside. Panda also doesn't have any DRS, so he doesn't seem to... Oh, he has. He's gone around the outside. Very risky manoeuvre there. I don't know if there was contact there, but that was a very risky move going around the outside of turn 1. It's not really an overtaking opportunity at that particular point. You either under brake on the inside or you don't really get through at all. But we'll stick with these guys for a moment. Bit of a scuff onto the dirt there from Germ. Doesn't seem to have done him any harm. Wondering Me seems to have lost a bit of time coming out of turn 5. Jern just outside of the DRS of Wondering Me, so he's managed to pull out quite a distance here. And Wondering Me has King Psycho Panda just behind him in the DRS, but didn't really make a dent on him on that straight. Right, Jern sets the fastest lap of the race there. Follow along here a second with Clay Funk and Serb, who are having a bit of battle of their own. Serb, the reserve driver in for the day, sitting up there in P4. Clay Funk, previous championship leader, sitting in P5. With Jern now right behind them in P6. Let's go up and check a look at these boys. Cheeky momentarily had him, but he had to yield. Is he going to have a run back at him with some DRS? I don't think so, because I think Jay's going to also get the same DRS advantage, as they both eat into the SOS brothers. Marinarat also just behind King Psycho Panda. SOS brothers picks up a 3-second time penalty. He won't be happy with that. Well, having said that, Cheeky going very wide out of Ascari. Marinarat is overtaking King Psycho Panda, taking P9. Adidas now, right on the back of Jern too. We could see something happen here on the home straight with the DRS advantage. Oh, careful, mate. Don't drag him get too much in his drag. That could cause you a serious bit of nose damage. I know we're getting close to the pit stop markers, but you don't need to be having an unnecessary pit stop and losing 3 or 4 seconds getting your nose replaced. King Psycho Pan is the first guy going into the pits now, down in P13. Marinarat's dropped a couple of places there. I don't know if he's had a scuff, but Lettel now moves up to P9. Of course, Adidas now sitting in P6, having overtaken Jern on the home straight. But currently, SOS Brothers still out in the lead. Jay Wizzy second, Cheeky Chappy third. Serb picks up a 3-second warning for corner cutting. Picks Ruffy's right on the back of Lettel. Let's have a quick look here. Is he going to get him on the inside? Oh, there's a bit of contact there, and Pix is scuffed. Wow, that's interesting. I'll have to be looking at that one after the race, I reckon. And Serb is taking Cheeky Chappy while Cheeky Chappy goes into the pits. Jern now right behind Adidas again at the end of the DRS straight. It should be interesting. Cheeky Chappy comes out on the hards. Whereabouts is he going to come out? Because he's going along to the end of the race, surely, on those tyres. Be interesting to see. The hards are not a tyre of choice round here. Comes out in P12. 15 drivers still in the race. And Jern takes Adidas for P5, coming just in front of the Lesmos. Will Adidas manage to get a run back on him? He's almost a second out. He will have the DRS advantage, but he definitely won't be catching him on this straight. Will he be able to get there by the home straight? That's the important question. Currently, only 3 drivers been in the pit. That's Jordan, King Psycho Panda, and Cheeky Chappy. I would be expecting in the next 2 to 3 laps all of the soft runners to have been in. And by the end of lap 12, I will assume all the mediums guys will have been in. Wondering Me now is catching up very much on Adidas. He's right on the back there, you can see. He also got a better run out of turn 2, so he's right on the back of him. Here we go. Is he going to get him? Yep, Wondering Me just overtakes him, as you can see there just on the side of the screen. Puts himself up into P6. Now he's back to chasing down Jern. But this is where the real action is. Let's go from Wondering Me's point of view. As he's right in the middle of the kind of the action sandwich right now between himself, Adidas and Jern. We still have the Mercs out in 1 and 2. SOS Brothers and Jay Wizzy holding formation. Though SOS Brothers seems to be just about pulling outside of the DRS zone now. Although Jay claws his way back in. Here we go. As SOS Brothers, the leader, goes into the pits. Well, as Serb also goes into the pits. Pix Ruffy's also going to the pits. We'll wait to see where they come out, but we'll stick with these two at the right now between Wondering Me and Jern. This is going to be probably the battle of the race. 2 of the front runners in the league. Serb comes out P11. SOS Brothers comes out P8. But all the cars in front of SOS Brothers still have to pit, so he should regain that first position. But if you're Jay Wizzy, now's the time to really be pushing this if you want to try and jump him in the pits. SOS Brothers looks like he hasn't got any traffic in front of him, which is a perfect situation when you pit. But having come out on mediums, is 18 laps too much on those mediums? A question that will only be answered as this race continues. Pix Ruffy comes out of the pits into P14. Wondering Me now, he's making massive strides into him this time. Is this the lap he's going to take him? Again, they both started on medium so they can go longer in these first stints. Now, the DRS advantage. Is this going to be the one? Very close on the back of him here. Has he got the run? He's got the run. Is he going to... It's going to be very tight. I think he's going to have to... Ooh, just makes it up the inside. Great sportsmanship from both drivers there, ensuring they both get through. Ruffy picks up a 3-second penalty. And Wondering Me now from the back row of the grid takes provisional lead of the race. Now, if himself and Jern are smart, they use each other's DRSs to keep themselves as fast as they can so they can compete with the other drivers. Looking currently, and Jay Wizzy has been in the pit and come out in front of SOS Brothers, so Jay Wizzy could potentially be actually in the lead of the race. I blinked and missed it while the scrap between these two was going on. Look lower down the order at Clay Funk. On the DRS straight. Who's on fresh tyres by comparison to the Imperial's 10-lap-old softs. It should only be a matter of time, really. Looking positionally right now, I would imagine both Jay Wizzy and SOS Brothers will reappear out in front of Wondering Me. Lettel also now sitting in third. Who's having a quietly good race there. Also on the different strategy. Marina Rat also on the long strategy, sitting in fourth. And Clay Funk moves past the Imperial, who goes into the pits. Jern is catching back up on Wondering Me as we approach Lesmo 1, moving into Lesmo 2 before we get into the DRS straight. Can he maintain that position? I'm pretty much assuming that these drivers are on a one-stop strategy now. Jordan Hassel jumps King Psycho Panda, who's dropped back to P13 as Pix Ruffy also takes him. But it's really interesting now to see these four guys who are potentially out on the medium strategy when they decide to pit. I would be imagining the pit window is open over the next 2 laps or so. But if somebody wants to push it really far and go long and then take maybe a 12-lap run on softs, they may go in at the end of lap 15. But they would be on some very, very tired medium tyres by that point. Has Jern got the run? No, he doesn't. Wondering if he's going to hold it for that little bit longer. Jordan Russell and Pix Ruffy as Pix comes up the inside on the penultimate straight coming towards the Parabolica. Takes the lead. Is Jordan going to come back at him now with the DRS? Most probably is. There we go. Up the inside. Nice and easy. Ooh, runs a bit wide there. Picks himself up a 3-second penalty. Well, he won't be happy with himself there. I'm going to keep an eye on P5 as well as Jay Wizzy starts to catch Marina Rat. I have to say, it looks like the Mercedes will come out very close to the... by about 10 seconds in front of Wondering Me, but they're still going to have to make a pit stop. Let's go up to Jay Wizzy, as Jay now is right on the back of him on the home straight. Should be an easy enough overtake. There we go. Jay Wizzy puts himself up into P4. As he's now sitting there about just over 11 seconds away from Wondering Me. The pit stop here is around 20 to 21 seconds. So there should be around a 10-second gap. But what this does do is unleash Jay now. Jordan has retaken Pix Ruffy down in 11th. But I have a feeling they're on different strategies. I do feel like that Pix will be staying the one-stop strategy. Jordan will probably have to make a second stop. It'll be interesting to see how well these mediums hold out. Because I'm surprised so many drivers have managed to get away with 13 laps on these. But I'm assuming that they're going to be coming in any lap now. We dive up. Wondering me and Jern side by side in the first chicanes. Jern comes out in front. Let's have a look now. SOS Brothers has overtaken Marina Rat. Coming into turn 1. But again, is this strategy going to play out? Have these 4 medium starting runners made the right choice and made a one-stop strategy work? And are these other drivers going to have to really push these mediums way longer than they're really capable of doing? Very interesting to see the people who've already come into pit to see how long their tyres last. SOS Brothers now desperately trying to get some time back into Jay Wizzy. He's dropped about 2.5 seconds behind him. Wondering me now as we come back on the penultimate straight towards the Parabolica. Is there going to be anybody taking a pit, or is he going to take another lap run at him here? He's going to have DRS at his advantage. He's not as close as he was on the previous lap though, or previous laps. But he's still got a lot of speed. You see, that's just the lack of traction in these older tyres. But we're going to have another side-by-side moment, are we? No, Wondering Me straight up the inside. Well, Journal have a much stronger line out of turn 2. As Lettel and Marina Rat are in the pits. Both going on to softs, so they're looking to do 12-lap runs on the softs. You'd have to imagine that Lettel is going to be giving feedback to the Renault team and letting Jern know when it's okay. I think they've been smart about this. I think these 2 front runners could well have played this strategy absolutely perfect. I'm sure guys in the race later on will be watching this and going, ah, the strategy does work. It's one of the few tracks where you might be able to do a one-stop medium-soft combination. But I did feel like a lot of the chance would be 2 stops would probably be the actual fastest. Because you don't gain so much time. I mean, we'll see at the end of the race what the fastest lap time is. Here we go. Are we going to see these guys entering the pits? Wondering Me comes in. As does Jern. So let's look with Wondering Me and see what happens when he comes out. The 2 Mercedes have gone past, so Jay Wizzy now takes back the lead of the race. SOS Brothers in P2, Clayfunk P3, Cheeky Chappie in P4, Serb goes past in P5. But now, with the softs advantage, how much time can Wondering Me and Jern do? And Lettel comes up the inside, having taken the undercut, and jumps Jern in the pits. Wow. These Renaults are so close for time every single race, and that just shows you how neck and neck it is. The undercut working out to Lettel's advantage. We'll stay with these 3 as this is very, very close racing, and I can imagine this won't stay this way for very long. The question is, do these guys attack each other, or do they play it smart and just push together to try and catch up with the pack above? Big shout out to Serb right now, who's sitting in P5, his first race in the league as a reserve. Superb driving. So currently we have a Mercedes in first, a Mercedes in second, a Williams in third, and a Williams in fourth. All 4 of our top constructors teams, if you include Racing Point and the Renaults, all scoring decent points so far. But this is going to be neck and neck over the next few laps. DRS not giving the advantage it was before now that they're on fresher tyres. And also being into the pits will also have given them some ERS boost. So if you want to defend, you have a slight better chance with the gadgets you have at hand. Clayfunk picking up a 3-second time penalty there. And Serb gradually seems to be catching cheeky too. In that Ferrari. See them right in front there? See, that's how far away they are. So, Wondering Me is around 15 seconds behind the race leader. But he's got much quicker tyres and much newer tyres. And currently, some clear air in front of him. But that could all change as one of these two predatory Renaults behind him will be more than happy to take that clear air away from him. Wondering Me, and Jern then defeats it with a 1:22.2 to take the actual fastest lap of the race. Well, it was two fastest laps, one after the other. So quick I couldn't even read the first one out. Pix Ruffy now overtakes King Psycho Panda into P11. And Serb now catching right up to the back of Cheeky Chappie. Yellow flags in Sector 3 right now as King Psycho Panda retakes Pix Ruffy. But we're going to stick with this battle here because this is real. When this opens up, this is going to open up big. Slightly scruffy around Lesmo 1 there. Sorry, chicane 2 there, I apologise. Now they're in the Lesmos. Down to the DRS straight. Jern looks like he's going to be quite close to Lettel, so Lettel needs to make sure he stays inside that DRS area. Let's just take a jump up a second and take a look with Serb, who's going to come into this home straight now. With a real chance to catch Cheeky Chappie. Superlative. And he does. Serb now up into P4. Oh, and Lettel has taken Wondering Me, and there's a bit of a scrap going on there. Oof. Lads, give yourselves more room than that. I think there'll be a little bit of look into that after the race. I didn't catch the full of it, but I'm sure I'll be asked to inquire. While Psycho Panda and Marinarat continue their relentless battle down for P11. But I'm going to stick here. As Wondering Me still retains his position, but Jern has now overtaken Lettel for P7. Let's just hop up into Jern's position as he's in the middle of the pack. Serb seems to have pulled out a second already on Cheeky Chappie. He's absolutely flying. He's going to be catching Clayfunk pretty soon if he maintains this pace. Jern picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Wow, that's a rarity. Jern normally very clean in our races. Serb really out to make a name for himself tonight. Here we go. Under DRS now. It's Jern's turn to attack. Not quite got the run. Just looking to see if there's any damage at the front of Lettel's car or Wondering Me's car after that little rubbing that was going on. Half a second separates these three cars right now. Jern seems to have had a pretty bad turn there. He's dropped himself down by about a second. Lettel hasn't done much better. Wonder if there's a certain amount of tyre preservation going on, or if Wondering Me has just stepped up his ERS use. But now with less than 7 laps of this race to go, just have a quick rundown of the order. Jay Wizzy in P1, SOS Brothers P2, Clayfunk P3, Serb P4, Cheeky 5, Wondering Me 6, Jern 7, Lettel 8, Adidas 9, Marinarat 10. Jay now 4.5 seconds ahead of the SOS Brothers in P1. Picks Ruffy picking up a 3-second time penalty. As we start to approach the back markers, there's going to be some interesting navigation required. King Psycho Panda picks Ruffy for P11. Everybody's staying quite stationed right now. The question is, how long are these softs going to remain on optimum? I don't see these guys catching the rest of the pack. As far as the front runners, I think Jay and the SOS Brothers are a long way off in their own world right now, but Jern is going to be right on the back of Wondering Me as we come into this section here, and Wondering Me is going to be right on the back of Cheeky Chappy. I think we might just switch to Wondering Me's view and take a look and see how this turns out, because there's going to be a lot. Oh, and a bit of a knock there between Jern and Wondering Me was there. Jern steps through. Is Jern going to also get past Cheeky Chappy? Oh, Wondering Me's hitting to Cheeky Chappy. Oh, there's a real sort of lack of spatial awareness going on right now. Cheeky having to cut the corner for 5 seconds. That'll be looked into after the race. I don't really feel there was much he could do about that. Slightly careless there. And Lettel also takes Cheeky Chappy. And Pix Ruffy has got himself out of the race. King Psycho Panda's in the pit. I wonder if they've had a coming together at some point. Jordan Hassel now moves up to P12. Imperial up to P11. We're trying to keep in touch with this battle here between Jern and Wondering Me, which has been pretty much the big battle of the race. Serb hasn't quite been able to make the final strides into Clayfunk, although his hards will still be in good condition, while those mediums are going to be starting to drop off now. That one is definitely not over. There could be a potential podium on for a Serb in his first race. Yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2 right now. Adidas and Marinarat are absolutely neck and neck down the home straight here. Marinarat comes out on top. It's a softs versus hards debate, and there's not really much of a debate. The softs normally win. But will Adidas get the run back in on him now? It's still very, very tight. As we've got just under 4 laps left to go. Bit of contact there between the two of them. I think guys have got to slow themselves out a little bit and be prepared to give more space. Adidas goes out wide. He's going to lose all of his momentum. But he has the DRS, so he won't completely be off his back. We've got a real battle on our hands. Between Serb, who's now in P3, Clayfunk P4, Wondering Me 5, and Jern in 6. Adidas has retaken Marinarat. But we're going to stay up with these guys. We've got less than 3 laps of the race to go. And there's lots of points up for grabs here. SOS Brothers picking up a 3-second time penalty. As Serb got an awful run out of the second Lesmo. Does this mean Clayfunk's going to catch him? I don't think he's got quite enough to do it. No, he doesn't. Oh no, Wondering Me! Has taken himself out of the race! A double DNF for Racing Point! In the same place! Will the safety car be out? Because that car is actually hanging over the track. I think we may be getting away with it. Adidas picking up a 3-second time penalty. Jern now overtakes Clayfunk into P3. And the championship has just been blown wide open. Jern now in P3 with 2 laps left to go is definitely not going to be catching up with the 2 Mercedes in front. But on that note, SOS Brothers has been eating lots of time out of J-Wizzy. I wonder if J-Wizzy has just taken a little bit of a keel off the accelerator. Wow. Racing Points will not be happy. That's going to really put them back down in the Constructors' Championship. Just looking down the order now. J-Wizzy 1, SOS Brothers 2, Jern 3, Serb 4, Clayfunk 5, Lettel 6 as we come into the final lap. Marinarat and Adidas still having their relentless battle down. Now they're fighting over P8. Imperial now in the points in P10. Is Serb going to actually make this move? No, I don't think he's going to have enough on Lettel. But Lettel's softs will be quite weak now. And Serb will still have hards, which aren't giving him too much bother. But we are, as we approach the end of the race, going to start to switch over to the front runner. Oh, Serb having a little bit of an issue there. I think he's blown his opportunity to catch him. So let's step up with J-Wizzy. About to take down the dub. Has he got more penalties than the car behind? It's the only real question. As he comes around Ascari for the last time. Down the penultimate straight. Past the stands. As we come to the Parabolica. Last little push. Come on, Jay. Comes over the line in first. SOS Brothers in second. Jern now coming round. We'll have Serb right behind him. How is Jern's positioning? Jern comes through third. Serb. Lettel jumps up to third. Jern fourth. Clayfunk fifth. Serb sixth. Cheeky now coming up to the end of the final straight. So Serb and Jern and Clayfunk having more penalties than Lettel. Wow. Good work, Lettel, on your tidy driving. Cheeky doing a lot of showing off here. I don't know if he's got a lot of penalties, but he might regret that. And he has been jumped by Adidas and Marinarat and drops down to P9 as the Imperial comes over the line in P10, who also jumps Cheeky. Cheeky's dropped positions by being overconfident there, I think. And King Psycho Panda now coming through the last finishing position as Doug Vickers finishes 1 lap down. Good race, everybody. Congratulations to the Mercedes 1 and 2. J-Wizzy taking down the win. SOS Brothers second. Lettel getting drive of the day. Super clean drive. No penalties. Or at least less than everybody else. And that's what makes the difference. And now let's take a look at the classified results. J-Wizzy takes down the win with SOS Brothers in second, creating a Mercedes 1-2. In third place is Lettel and fourth place is Jern, meaning the Renaults pick up the next 2 positions. With Clayfunk in fifth, Serb in sixth, Adidas in seventh, Marinarat in eighth, Cheeky Chappie in ninth, and the Imperial picking up the final point in 10th, with Jordan Hassel, King Psycho Panda and Doug Vickers all finishing the race, and Wondering Me, Pix Ruffy and Mark Nasty all failing to finish. With a fastest lap for Jordan Hassel. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. Jay Wizzy now leads the championship with 85 points, and we have a three-way tie for second with Wondering Me, Jern and the SOS brothers. Clayfunk takes 5th position with 73 points, Little Gaming in 6th with 65 points, Cheeky Chappy in 7th with 37 points, the Brothers 2000 in 8th with 30 points, Mark Nasty in 9th with 20 points, Jordan Hassel filling out the top 10 with 15 points, the Imperial on 13 points, Pix Ruffy on 12 points, with the rest of the drivers all below 10 points. And finally, let's look at the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes now take the lead with 117 points, Renault in second only just behind with 113 points, Williams in third with 98 points, just behind them is the Racing Point team with 95 points, and then a big drop back to the Ferraris in 5th with 42 points, the McLarens in 6th with 17 points, the AlphaTauris in 7th with 16 points, and the Red Bull team played in last 8th position with 12 points. Be sure to join us next week as we travel over to the United States for the US Grand Prix in Texas. Make sure you're there. We'll see you then.